Hello, my name is Katherine Gibson and I am a teacher and I am an education consultant and I work with a company called Teach-In. I work in the overseas office and I work with Australian, New Zealand, Canadian and other international teachers that are looking to have a UK teaching experience. So I've put together this presentation today so that I can provide you with a bit of information about who we are as a company and what we can offer you, understanding that now might not be the time that you're thinking about travelling to England, but forward planning is what we're all about to make sure that the match is right. So don't be afraid to get in touch and have a conversation about your plans 6, 12, 18 months in advance. And I'm happy to offer individual advice and support. So at the end of the session, please get in touch either on our social sites or through our email or website, and I look forward to speaking to you personally. So Teach-In. Tell you a little bit about the company. We're part of a large organisation called Education Placement Group. And within that group are 3 teaching agencies and the only Department for Education approved initial teacher training company in England called Equalitas. So we span England and Wales, and we have branches in multiple locations across those countries. So if you're thinking about working in the north of England, in the Midlands, in the south, southwest, southeast, anywhere you're looking for work, we've probably got an office or we can work with schools within that area. So we're certainly not London focused, although we have lots of connections there. We can offer lots of opportunities, and recently places like Manchester and Leeds and Brighton are just as popular as London. So thinking outside of the box, we can give you information about all the parts of England that you could work and live. At the moment, COVID is stopping us all from travelling internationally and experiencing other cultures and doing all the things that you usually do when you're young and finishing university and wanting to have a bit of an adventure and an experience. Having said that, we are currently working with teachers even from Australia and New Zealand and Canada who are wanting to head over, and as long as they have a full-time teaching job secured, they are gaining exemptions to be able to travel and to enter into work in England. Obviously, that's not for everyone, but be aware that vaccinations are happening in England at the moment, as well as starting to happen in our countries. And so hopefully by this September, it should be viable to travel and work as a teacher in England for most people. And it might be that you forward plan for the beginning of their next term in January or for later in 2022. But be aware that we are working with teachers, we are starting to have those conversations, and there are work opportunities available. You can follow us across social platforms. So Instagram, we're called Teach-In UK. There is a Teach-In Facebook page for Canadian teachers, and there's also a LinkedIn account. We've got lots of vacancies, updates, information, stories and testimonials on there. So jump on and have a little look and find out a bit more about us, and you can always get in touch with us through DMs on any of those platforms. In terms of our scope of work opportunities, as you can imagine, with all of the branches and the agencies that we are working under the Education Placement Group, there are schools all over the country, so well over the 2,000 I've put there, and these are the full range of schools, from government or state run schools to independent private schools to faith schools like Church of England or Catholic system. You can find work, and you don't need to be Catholic of faith to work in the Catholic system in the UK. There are also independent or state run academies, grammar or selective schools, and we work with special needs schools as well as special needs units within mainstream schools. So whatever experience you're looking for, I'm sure we've got a school environment that will really fit your skills and experience, or what you're looking to get more experience in. So the British school year begins in early September. Every term has a half-term break of a week. So if you can imagine that you work for about 6 weeks, have a week off, work for another 6 weeks, and then it's the end of term. So you start in early September, you have a week off in October, and then you run through until about the 20th of December. And then you have 2 weeks off over Christmas, and then you go back to the beginning of term 2, which is in early January. You have a week off in February, and then you have another 6 weeks and finish up just before Easter. You have 2 weeks off over Easter, and you come back usually around the middle of April. Again, you have a week off in May of a half-term break, and then you work for another 6 weeks, and then there's the long summer break from around the 20th of July right through until early September. So there are 13 weeks of travel and recreational opportunity as a teacher in England. And then you do have all of the public holidays in England are called bank holidays, and they all sit on a Monday. So there are a lot of opportunities to have long weekends through the year as well. So all of our teachers are travelling, they're off and about, they're going through the UK, through Europe, to countries like Iceland, all over the place, and it's close and it's quite cheap to travel. So once COVID's sort of looking less as it is at the moment, then it's certainly going to be part of your life if you're teaching over in England. We don't like to presuppose that there's one way of securing work in the UK and that's the right way to do it. If you're looking for a contract of X amount of time, we can offer that, and we call that a long-term contract. So usually if you start in September, it would be for that academic year. If you started in January, it would be for the final 2 terms, but it's a set contract at a school, and you're paid the same amount as a British trained teacher, and you're paid for the weeks that you're working in that school. If you wanted to be a permanent staff member, so placed directly with that school, it usually happens after a period of a term or so of experience in that school, but we do offer permanent placements direct from the start. A little bit different in that you're paid monthly, but that opportunity is available as well. And then generally we offer a guaranteed supply contract, which means that we can offer you work every day. If we can't find you work, we pay you anyway. And that's in popular locations like Brighton, in Buckinghamshire and Leeds and other parts of England. At the moment with COVID and lockdown schooling, supply work isn't something that's needed so often. So we're not offering that to people who are planning to head over at this time. But hopefully by 2022, even maybe later this year, we'll be able to offer that again once schools are back to face-to-face and the need for supply teachers becomes high again. We're a little bit different than a lot of agencies in that we have some really strong partnerships with whole counties, so whole provinces or areas of England. All of their schools look to us to find local and international staff. So Buckinghamshire, which is a home county just outside of London, all of the schools there we work with. The London Borough of Havering is another area where we've partnered with, and we find teachers for them. Certainly schools all over England, all over Wales, but partnerships as well in different parts of the country. So a couple of times a year we have virtual or face-to-face recruitment tours, and head teachers either interview online or face-to-face, and they will then endorse you for particular schools within their area. So fantastic way of getting into an area which is used to having overseas candidates that mentor them, where there are a lot of overseas teachers working, and yeah, they really support and look after teachers. So that might be something that you're looking at, and I will let you know if you register with us when those tours are coming up, when there are opportunities for you to do a virtual interview and gain a UK principal endorsement. It's really important to get support, and just to make it clear, the service that we offer teachers is free. So once a school takes you on, that school will pay us a recruitment or a finder's fee for finding the right person. So throughout the experience for you, it's a free service. You'll have a consultant before you arrive that will help you find the right job, make you compliant to work in the UK, and help with all the little transitional things that you'll need to make it a good start, connect you with other teachers, opening UK bank accounts, national insurance numbers, getting your visa sorted out, all that sort of thing. And a lot of people are really focused on accommodation. So if we don't have teacher housing, it might be that we've got teachers in the area with rooms. We might have a consultant who can give you a really clear idea from the UK about where to and where not to live. A lot of teachers plan by starting in an Airbnb, and then we can set up some meetings with different real estate agents and things like that. We also really specialise in working with small groups and friends and partners who want to work close together or in the same school, so be aware of that as well. Most Canadians head over on a youth mobility scheme visa, which allows you 2 years to live and work in the UK. You can have it once between the ages of 18 and 31. You have to be under 31 before you apply. And yeah, as long as you don't have any children and you haven't got a bad criminal record, then you should get that visa. And that gives you 2 years over there. And then outside of that, there's a skilled worker visa now for people who require sponsorship. There's an ancestry visa if you have British grandparents, and then a British passport if your parent, one of your parents is British. So we can walk through the options with you and see what one could be good. Lots of social events, lots of mentoring, professional development while you're in the UK as well. So yeah, we take all that really seriously. We understand that you'll be traveling from a long way away, and that it's important, especially in your first year of teaching, if you choose to go, that the support is there for you to thrive and come back to Canada with a lot to offer. And I guess that brings us to the benefits of going and teaching in England. And career progression is probably the top one. You'll get a job probably before you've even finished your degree in Canada if you want to. You'll be interviewing for jobs 3-4 months out and have something secured. You'll be able to teach your subject area or year group of preference, and you will come back to Canada with solid full-time teaching experience. We also know that British schools offer progression and areas of leadership and opportunity quite quickly to strong candidates. So again, you're coming back with something that might take 4 or 5 years for you to achieve back in your home country. You can keep up to date with lots of professional development that we offer, and you'll build a professional network, but also the social side of things, a social network of living and working overseas and with people like you in schools all over England. If you wanted to work in other international schools in Europe, UAE, Asia, they usually want a couple of years experience, and ideally a British national curriculum is going to get your foot in the door. So again, if your long-term plan is to work internationally in schools in other countries, then the UK is probably your first port of call. And obviously England, the UK is on Europe's doorstep, and travel is easy. There is lots of opportunities during the year as a teacher to travel, and all of the teachers that we work with are out and about and really getting a sense of what it's like to live and work in that part of the world. So, and we do have Canadians that go back home for special occasions and things. For teachers that we secure a job for, we cover the cost of your flight over to England up to 700 Canadian dollars. And as long as you work for 130 days, that is not needed to be refunded to us. So that's part of what we can offer you as an agency. And Emma Roberts and myself work in the overseas office. So any questions that you have, any support that you need, we're available. And whilst I'm in Australia, as is Emma, it works quite well. And I've been working with Canadian teachers for a long time. What it means is when you're finishing your day and your afternoon and your evening, when you maybe have questions or want to have a chat or have a bit of time, that's when we're starting our day over here in Australia. So it's always really easy to contact and connect with Canadian teachers and have regular updates and conversations. So you can reach us through those email addresses, probably direct to katherine.gibson @teachin.co.uk is the easiest way to go. And yeah, that's a little bit about who we are. Hopefully it's been helpful, and I wouldn't discourage you from just getting in touch with some questions, even if it's not on your radar at the moment. If you want any more information, I'm happy to help. If you know someone who's interested in heading over, we offer a referral fee, and there's lots of information on the website, videos and testimonials, so you can jump on there as well. But really looking forward to having a chat with you and hearing how we might be able to help down the track.